High School Pitchside, brought to you by KFC, Catch, Ping Pong, Water, Powerade, True Shake, Pringles. High School Pitchside, brought to you by KFC, Catch, Ping Pong, Water, Powerade, True Shake, Pringles.
The season is well underway with games and goals galore. Hi, and welcome to High School Pitchside, the show that brings you all you need to know about ISSA schoolboy football. I'm Ronaldo Adams, along with the sports girly Janae Robinson and the guru, somewhat, Giovanni Brady. One more week on them my side. What go on? How are you feeling?
Yes, it's getting exciting. I've been at the matches. I'm feeling the vibes, as in the weather is an issue, you know, but the football is good for me.
Gio?
One thing I always hear, rain a stop ball game, you know, and ball game been a play. And the ball game's been very good. Some big results this week.
Sure.
Manning Cup kicking off into schoolboy football, kicking off into high gear.
All right.
Well, as you know, CVM is the home of ISSA schoolboy football with high-quality live broadcasts all season long. This season has been nothing short of exciting so far, and that excitement continued on CVM with 31-time Manning Cup champions Jamaica College facing Greater Portmore High. Here are the game highlights.
Defenders caught out again from Jamaica College. A ball over the top to Dwayne Berger. Didn't make a difference though. Seeing it again, I mean, we do have more than enough goals to show you. But there you go. Show you that one again for good measure. It was a really good ball. Connecting on that one. The goal scoring wasn't done yet. Berger notching his third. Tevin Savage, a substitute, finding him. Delaje McCormack, substitute. And then another substitute.
I think we could have done a lot better, especially in the up front. Basically scoring more goals, but we're rebuilding. Definitely don't expect much from us this year. We definitely are rebuilding.
There you have it. Jamaica College are early leaders in Zone C with 6 points from 2 games. This result is not a surprise. Clearly, JC are levels above Greater Portmore. In 2 games, JC haven't really been tested. 13-0 in this game, 7-0 in their first game against St. Mary's College. Guys, they've been off to a great start.
Oh my God. Imagine having a plus 20 goal difference in just 2 games.
You know, I think that's one of the reasons why schoolboy football kind of moved to stop counting. They said the goals that are scored in the first round, they don't really count them towards the total tally in terms of goal difference after, right? Because in this first round, and I guess that's why as well, you're seeing where they have this new thing in Manning Cup where, you know, as you I was debated last week, the first 4 schools, and then after that, because
so this now, as well, like where you touched on that, because now, as I debated, as I argued last week, if you're facing stiffer competition in the early stages of the competition, therefore it will be very unlikely to see a 13-0. JC would not defeat StETHS 13-0.
Yeah, that's very true. And you know what's the crazy part about it? When I spoke to Coach Watson, he said JC isn't up to his standard right now. The boys are kind of just, and Gio, I know you're going to say, okay, they're going to say that right now and whatever the case may be.
First I heard that from JC.
No, but to be very honest, even if you look at the ball game, I feel like if they were playing a stronger team, we would see what JC really needs to work on. I think Greater Portmore, really their average age was what, 15, 16. They're very young. So I think they were able to more have a training session than a football match.
Well, as we all agree, we see this as an easy zone for Jamaica College, and it may be a walkthrough in which they will subsequently advance to the second round. They currently lead with 6 points, scoring 20 goals in just 2 games, conceding 0. Last year, JC lost in the semi-final, 5-4 on penalties to St. Catherine High, and they last won the Manning Cup in 2022. Would you consider this, Janae, too long of a period for someone of the hierarchy of Jamaica College?
I think it's a little long, but I also think that Jamaica College have really just been tested in those moments. I don't necessarily think that even though they've lost, it's a reflection of their quality. They've had quality time and time again, and I just think that when it comes to the finals, that would add to the streak probably being lengthened. But it's not saying that JC hasn't had good teams. They've been having really good teams with really good players. So do I think that they'll probably break that streak? Yeah, I think they're coming up to that time when they want to just get it right, fix things.
And speaking of long streaks and long overdue with trophies, Gio, as an Arsenal fan, what do you think? Is this anything to worry about for Jamaica College?
No. I figure it's not that long of a time, really and truly. I mean, back in the 2010s, there were some back-to-back wins that they had from 2012, probably to around 2016.
With like Junior Fleming.
But currently, it's not a long wait, and JC has remained highly competitive in that moment in time. Always. Jenny said earlier that JC wasn't their best team. I mean, every year when JC comes to the first, so we can't say that, it's not JC's
No, I'm
best
talking
team.
about them in the finals, like when they get to that stage of the competition.
No, usually in this first round, they don't really feel the best team. So I'm agreeing what you're saying. So it's not their best team, but at some point in time, you have to put all the numbers, all the figures together, all the performances together, and you have to come through with some results. It's not a long wait. 2022 is
3 years.
3 years ago.
But for JC, though, guys, remember, they're spoilt with football. It's not like...
And that's what I love about sports overall. Every time we feel like, say, yo, this is going to happen, nature and the gods, the sporting gods say, hey man, you thought, but this is what is going to actually happen. In recent years, we had Mona. Last year we had
Kingston College.
Last year it was Kingston College. So I like the competitiveness. I don't want it to be a case where there's only one school winning 3 consecutive years, because again, my bottom line, pushing the product forward, But it's now time for our first break on high school Pitchside, and guess what? We're soon forward.
Crunch your craving with the value menu from KFC. With combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son play finals on CVM,
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Why? My son score, my son score, my son score, my son score.
Greatness begins here.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside on your home of schoolboy football, CVM TV. Vauxhall are setting their eyes on advancing to the second round of the Manning Cup. The team from Windward Road played Spanish Town High in their Zone C Manning Cup match on Wednesday. Here are the match highlights.
Well, for them also, immediately within a minute, they got their first goal. Kyle Chen, left-footed effort, free at the back post. And Vauxhall players being free in the box would become a theme of this encounter. That was the first, then we would see the second. Penalty won by a standout player today, Giovanni Cummings, and dispatched powerfully to give Vauxhall a 2-0 lead. They would keep on going, keep on attacking. They would win a second penalty. Kyle Chen winning. Cummins saved. Javon Wilson, excellent save to deny Vauxhall getting a third, but he couldn't do too much more about the other 5 that went in. Kyle Chen again, his second of the game, his third of the season. Easy finish. And then after that, the floodgates were officially opened. Captain Gentles with an excellent attempt. Followed in by number 10, Richardo Walker, getting the first of his 2 goals. He wouldn't have to wait too much longer for his second. There it was 5-0 right on the stroke of halftime. Vauxhall would start the second half just as how they ended the first. Very good goal by Jathorn Jones. And then the pick of the bunch here. Excellent finish coming in from Ingleton. Powerful strike, that one. Spanish Town would test eventually, forcing a very good save out of Coke. But Vauxhall too strong. Excellent pass from Cummings. And then a very nonchalant finish coming in from Stewart. And speaking of nonchalance, Ingleton giving that one away.
Joining us to discuss Vauxhall and their pursuits is Daniel Bent, former assistant coach at Jamaica Premier League outfit Waterhouse. Daniel, 2 wins from 2 for Vauxhall. It's been an exciting time in the schoolboy football competition for Kyle Butler. Talk to me.
Thank you for having me, Gio. It's a pleasure being on the set yet again. I think the cameras love me. Yeah, so it has been a wonderful season for Vauxhall. It's not surprising to me because through a pre-season they would have been showing signs that we are going to compete, irrespective of the JC in the group and so forth, and StETHS being in the group. But they're not afraid. And I think with the addition of Kyle Butler at the helm, his first head coach job, it brings a level of freshness to the school environment and so forth. So it's going to be interesting for them.
I'm glad that you brought that up because when I spoke to Kyle, I said, I've seen you do a lot of things from pre-season. Like it's almost as if he's just revamping or bringing a new spirit into Vauxhall. We had a little discussion off air talking about Vauxhall from where it was to where it is now. Do you think that Kyle is bridging that gap and kind of, maintaining and improving on what has been done before?
Yeah, man, I think it's a twofold thing. Giovanni Codlin, the head coach at St. Jago High School, he would have built the foundation with these boys. He was there in 2023. Vauxhall came 4th in their group on 10 points. Last year in 2024, they finished on 13 points with the group, including Woolmer's and St. Andrew Technical and Calabar as well. So Kyle now is basically putting the icing on the cake. If you like cake, that icing is being added to Vauxhall's armory.
So you mentioned Kyle putting the icing on the cake. To elaborate a bit on that, what exactly do you think Kyle has added to this team that they probably would not have had last year or the previous years?
I think based on what I would have seen, because I've been to a lot of training sessions and matches and so forth, I think a level of professionalism, because remember these students are from in and around the area. And Kyle would have lived this professional life as it relates to being on time. So if you're late, if you're 1 minute past 3, you're not training. As it relates to, in probably different aspects, as it relates to education, if you do not do your schoolwork, you don't play. So you have to earn to play, because he's trying to build an awesome man, not just a footballer, but better men to be in society. Because you can say football is life. Yes. Jenny, you know this, and Brady, because you've been a man all your life. So I'm thinking that freshness, and also he brings resources because he's well connected as in the space, fundraising, and for a school like Vauxhall, eventually over time, just like his father did at Mona, at my school, big school, Mona, big said. So they're going to bring a lot of transformation in Vauxhall community.
I'm glad you brought that up, because being the son of Craig Butler, obviously he would learn firsthand a lot of coaching techniques as it relates to development of a young team that probably the public don't really believe in as yet.
Yeah, I mean, he also just completed his C license in the summer. One of his tutors was Vauxhall Reynolds. As you know, Vauxhall is ironically Vauxhall was one of the schools that he would have started his coaching career with.
Really?
Also, Kian Badgick, who's a coach at ISSA High, and Javani Codlin, who would have been there, move on to St. Jacob. So Vauxhall has proven to be a school that you will get time to hone your craft.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy for him, because when I heard about this job, I said to him, hey, Kyle, I think this would be a good opportunity for him, and I think he's finding his feet. Yes, he's still young in its own right as it relates to being an head coach, but time will tell that he'll do well.
So player personnel wise, to elaborate the work that's been done at Vauxhall, how many players would Vauxhall have brought in this season to what they already have to be reaping these results that they have right now?
90% of the Vauxhall players are born and bred from Vauxhall. I think based on what I would have seen, there are one player from St. George's College, one player from ISSA High. I have 1 or 2 players who are sitting out. But the nucleus of them is to bring them through. Not a lot added. Not a lot added.
Yeah.
So he believes in building from the ground up. That's like a constructor, a contractor building from the ground up, and the foundation was laid already. So it's just basically just carrying it on, and it's something that he must get a lot of credit for.
Well, he is associated to Phoenix and their club. Is there any Phoenix influence in the Vauxhall team?
Yeah, interestingly, Kyle Chen, who scored the opening goal yesterday, was a part of that group when he was a bit younger. So his technical ability to be able to use both left and right foot, his raw pace, his power, and his decision making is something that can be attributed to that. As it relates to younger players, number 10, Richardo Walker, we call him Puggy, they call him Puggy. Very good players, and I mean the general team of Vauxhall is a really, really good team.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because if we look at Zone C in its entirety, we have Jamaica College, St. Andrew Technical, Spanish Town High, Edith Dalton. Do you think that Vauxhall has what it takes to earn their spot in the next round?
Yes, I think they are as good as the Jamaica College.
As the Jamaica College?
As it relates to quality of players. Okay. Because, I mean, if you look at Jamaica College, just like Vauxhall, they have individual talent that can hurt you. JC has it as well. Vauxhall has it as well. So to measure who is better, naturally persons will say JC because of the pedigree and so forth. But Vauxhall, on a good day, any superior team, let us say, that they show up and not willing to play their brand of football, Vauxhall can hurt them.
Diminish them, put them. Yeah. So from a group like this, new Manning Cup standards, 3 schools go through.
Yeah.
Vauxhall, where do you see Vauxhall finishing this group?
I think it's quite interesting, because St. Andrew Technical is also a seasoned team. I'm putting that as them being the second group, second place. I think they're that good.
So StETHS is third, I'm assuming.
Yes, in my mind, because StETHS, no disrespect to Coach Williams, I'm your friend. Just talking football, but I think StETHS will go through as well. They're on a rebuilding stage, and they do have quality based on results. So it should be interesting. I wouldn't say outrightly but Vauxhall will get the second place. It's going to be a toss-up, especially the matchup coming up against Jamaica College at home, and also the match against StETHS. So that will kind of determine where they finish. But I think it's very, very close.
Well, there you have it. Daniel Ben says, first to Jamaica College, second to Vauxhall, and after the break, we'll have more high school pitchside for you.
Crispy, creamy, what a catch, so tasty. What a catch, with a caramel center. What a catch, and so much chocolate. Ooh yeah. First it's crispy, then it's creamy, with so much chocolate, smooth and milky. And when you go a little deeper, you find caramel. Ooh yeah. What a catch, oh. What a catch, you know we love you. What a catch, oh. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. What a catch.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside. We promise to bring you all the rivalries throughout the entire season through our coverage of football. Today we turn our attention to one of St. Elizabeth's most fiery matchups between St. Elizabeth Technical and Munro College. The two arch rivals face off this Saturday, and the only place you will see that live is on CVM TV at 3:30 p.m. Before that, however, Sydney Pagan tackle BB Coke at 1 p.m. also on your home of schoolboy football, CVM TV. For this season, StETHS and Munro compete in Zone E of the Dacosta Cup. Magoti High lead the group with 7 points after 4 games, and Munro and StETHS have 5 points and sit third and fourth respectively. This is always a match to look forward to, and I am keen to see what's in store for this one. Munro, under the guidance of a new coach after parting ways with Kemar Ricketts, they parted with their head coach Kemar Ricketts just a few weeks ago. And gentlemen, Daniel, I'll come to you first. As you were highlighting earlier, this is the Santa Cruz Derby. But with the departure of Coach Ricketts, is that the untimely departure of Coach Ricketts, how will that affect the team?
It all comes down to the relationship that coach would have had with the players, because as you know that most times players follow their coaches, and if they would have built a bond, that can also affect the performance. But I mean, as I say, football is business. Everdeen Scarlett now appointed the head coach of Munro is something that as an institution they still have a goal to achieve. So it's just business, I think.
Gio, the goal remains the same. Take home the crown or multiple crowns this season, but is as Daniel mentioned just now, is that something that yes, we want it, but is it attainable?
No, it's going to be difficult, I think, for Munro to bring home the crown this year. Last year, Munro were in the quarterfinals. They lost to Garvey Maseo, who went on to win the Dacosta Cup. This year, so far, Munro, StETHS as well with Munro, they have not started as promisingly as you would have loved them to start. I mean, if you're going to prove that you can win the Dacosta Cup or the Manning Cup, we expect you to come out and stamp your class. You've seen schools like Jamaica College, you've seen in the Dacosta Cup zone, Glenmuir, Garvey Maseo, those schools come out and really say, okay, listen, we're the big boys, we're here. Munro College has not done that, and sacking which is in essence what happened, sacking the head coach after one game.
Ridiculous. That's almost like Ten Hag at Bayer Leverkusen.
before you even get to settle into the season. Probably if it was in pre-season, but yes. After one game that does not play well. And in addition to that, in that group there in Zone E, BB Coke and Magoti have started very well. They look good, and we're not used to seeing that. Usually, BB Coke, Magoti, these are proverbial whipping boys, if you want to call it that, from Munro and especially StETHS. So again, from where I'm sitting, I'm not seeing where Munro looks like the school that they can go out and really challenge and win the Dacosta Cup this year.
And Munro fans, I promise you, this is not a Munro beaten segment. But Daniel, Munro are winless in 5 games against StETHS.
I think that comes down to a mental capacity. At the Santa Cruz Derby, especially at StETHS, it's a place that you don't want to go to play. They have, over the years, St. Elizabeth Technical would have built that school as a fortress. Despite not winning any trophy in the last 10 years, which is very unlike StETHS. The last time they won in 2015, they won the double. They won the Dacosta Cup and the Ben Francis Cup that year. And I remember interviewing Mr. Wellington at the schoolboy football launch, and I asked him the vivid question: is the ribbon going to be blue and gold in December? He gave you a political answer.
No, we're blue and gold too.
So he said that all the time will tell. He gave you a political answer, which is really and truly time will tell. But I think the quality over the years has been almost like a paradigm shift at StETHS, because in the group stage, I'm not used to seeing StETHS struggling. And then when if they do advance to the second round, it's almost like the goals basically they last. So, but I'm thinking that it's going to be interesting because it's almost like it's even between Munro and StETHS, and over the years it has been StETHS here, Munro down a little bit lower, but let us see, time will tell.
And that's telling for StETHS, because you mentioned that it's even, but it's almost as if StETHS has regressed, if you want to call it that, to the level where Munro is usually at, and that's not good. And I think last year in Munro Jackie Walters left Munro last year, and this new coach came. There was a lot of optimism around the new coach, and there was a lot of optimism around building this program and building towards a title.
And Kemar Ricketts was there last year as well.
Yeah, so to get rid of Ricketts again, it's not showing. It's not showing up.
Hey man,
just to add something, Naldo. Remember, Rudolph Speed is the technical director. Everdeen Scarlett is the head coach. That's a Cavalier contingent, and as you know,
Cavalier women's head coach. Yeah.
Precisely, and if you know the Cavalier way, even when persons count them out, they show up and they deliver. So we might say, all right, Munro may not be good enough for this season, may not be good enough to win the Dacosta Cup, but a game, just like the Cavalier versus Inter Miami, persons expect that Inter Miami would have run over Cavalier, but that wasn't the case. So it can be a case where Munro can show up and say, all right, StETHS, let's go.
All right, and we shall see it happen. But these schools have a rich history of football heritage, as the great Jose Mourinho would say. StETHS were founded in 1961, and their motto is, quote, work and integrity, unquote. They have won the Dacosta Cup 5 times, their first coming in 1974 and their last in 2015. Gentlemen, such a long wait, as Daniel said it earlier as well, 10 years. Earlier in the show, we were speaking about JC's quote-unquote drought of only 3 years. StETHS is much longer. This year, well, before we even get to the predictions for this match on Saturday, this year, we want a straightforward prediction. How close will StETHS come to taking home the Dacosta Cup crown?
Not close enough.
You first. Come on, come on.
No, go first. I'm thinking the closest I think StETHS will go is probably the quarterfinals. Omar Redder and Rambo, yeah, my virgin, I'm now fight against you, now fight against the
listen to me, no boss, man. I don't want to show this.
Every coach.
I want to see your contact list, but anyway.
From a football standpoint, I think probably the quarterfinals. If they get into the semi-finals, that would be a plus. I think they lack probably that cutting edge that we would have seen over the years. That cutting edge, especially in front of goal, and that defensive solidity that we would have seen over the years as well, because, you know, a lot of national players would have been born through the ranks of StETHS football, and that would have died down over the years. So the quality is there, but it's not at the level that I would want it to be. In
the quarterfinals.
But Omar Wedderburn is a really good coach. And they do have national players in their rank. Mr. Wellington, who plays centre back, and also Stedman, who are both national youth players. So yeah, so it's a task, but I do expect them to do well. But to win the Dacosta Cup is a bit of a far reach.
Daniel says quarterfinals. Conversely, standing at 169 years old, Munro College is one of the oldest institutions in Jamaica. Established in 1856, their motto is, please don't kill me if I butcher this, but Archesitam Kis Okultibat. Yes, something like that. Big up yourself, Munro. A city, meaning translated into English, it means a city set upon a hill cannot be hid. They won the first edition of the Dacosta Cup in 1950. They have 7 crowns, the last which came in 1964. Do you know, somewhere around the city band?
Talk about a drought.
Yes.
Right? That's a long drought. 1964. You know?
2 years after independence, you know.
that's a very long drought. Munro, again, we elaborated earlier. This is not a Munro bashing session, but Munro, they need to do some work. You do hope that you mentioned a Rudolph Speed and that Cavalier link up and how well Cavalier has done. You do hope that class and that quality and that caliber can, you know, reinvigorate Munro and, you know, wake up the quote-unquote sleeping giants that Munro College are. Again, St. Elizabeth is not short of talent. You know, so there is talent there to be had. There are players there that you can bring into the system. Probably you could look and say Munro College and Cavalier forming a feeder program. They're kind of far in terms of distance between both entities. But again, I don't know. Munro needs to do something that you can't go so long without winning. You know, yeah. You can't go by on history alone. A lot of teams go by on their history, you know. Won't call names, but you can't live on history alone.
You must be talking about Arsenal. Anyway, we are up on a quick break here on High School Pitchside, but don't cry. We'll be right back.
Start your journey with a Jane Bank Small Business Loan with small business loans with as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million.
The time is 8:30.
Team, we need to pass the ball quicker, much quicker. And you need to make sure I'm the coach. And I'm the assistant coach. No. Your job is to bring the water and keep us hydrated. Matter of fact, where's the water? I've got it, coach.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside. It's the season 4 debates, and we have our own version on High School Pitchside. ISSA President Keith Wellington says late withdrawals from the Dacosta Cup have left some groups with as few as 3 teams, forcing adjustments to balance those groups. Group C, L, and M only had 3 teams. However, schools from adjoining parishes had to be transferred to those groups to ensure adequate matches in those groups. With this logistic nightmare, Gio and Ronaldo will debate this issue. So boys, should ISSA penalize schools for late withdrawals? Ronaldo, your first minute starts now.
Listen, I want to know my narrative and my agenda already. I cannot tolerate slackness. So yes, ISSA should continue to impose punishment and whatever is required to set a standard and maintain said standard. We can't want to matriculate and want to improve our product if we are making excuses and condoning foolishness. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, whether they're going to, I'm not sure what the exact punishment would be, whether they're going to dock points or take away goals. I'm not sure what the exact punishment would be, but I am for punishing when, especially a late withdrawal. Come on. We have something that we're working toward. We're trying to attract more viewers, especially to the Dacosta Cup, because if we're being real, more people are fans of the money.
Time. Well, there you have it. Gio, your 1 minute begins now.
No, I don't think ISSA should punish the schools that decide to withdraw late from the competition. I mean, a lot of these schools are not schools with big football programs. You don't know how the finances of these schools are. A lot of schools, I know for a fact, my alma mater, Jamaica College, have a Facebook group, and a lot of the times there are people in the Facebook group having to come in and ask some money to buy gears or to buy food for the boys on camp. So if schools do go in with the genuine intention of putting in a genuine effort, and not every school has a big program, you know, so you're going with the genuine effort, you do try your best, it does not work out, you have to withdraw. It is sad. Probably we can discuss ways in which probably ISSA can provide better equilibrium or resources among our schools, so not only schools that have private investors or very active alma maters or old boy associations, you know, can perform at the highest level. It's difficult, but it's school work well in a day. You know, these are, for some schools, it's literally just physical education, sadly. So, I mean, it's tough for us to go and lay down the law and say, you know,
Time.
Thank you very much.
Do I have a rebuttal? No, you don't have a rebuttal.
I have just one question.
Thank you very much.
When did you know that you can't?
There are no rebuttals, Ronaldo.
Right?
Well, viewers, you've heard it from both panelists, Ronaldo and Gio, and the decision is left in my hands. So the winner of this debate is, drum roll please, Giovanni Brady.
Oh my God, I demand a recount. I demand a recount.
No.
Only one. There was only one vote.
Well, the reason why, let me give you the reason why.
Yeah.
So I do agree with some schools not being able to have the resources now. What I would tell ISSA to do is there should be a criteria before you enter the schoolboy football season. And if you don't meet that criteria, then it would mitigate having to do late withdrawals because you don't have the adequate things for the ISSA schoolboy football competition.
I'm still going to ask. Hold on, I'm still going to ask. When is it that you did not know that you are not going to have all resources required to compete?
That is why they need a deadline, in my opinion. So for instance, you're going to go through a period of preseason training, you're going to play a few matches, you will be able to know whether or not you can manage 3.5 months of football. From that, then I think they will sift themselves out. Now, where I can agree with you is that schools who are established, if there's a case that they withdraw, then you need some punishment, because let's be for real.
There has to be a standard. So I do get where you're coming from and I see your points, but I do agree that the overarching body needs to have a standard that is set from the get-go. You know,
Well, it's all right, Ginny. Must say that on Geo payroll, but
it's 1-1 next week.
Here is our Powerade hydration tip of the day. Stay ahead of thirst. Don't wait until you feel thirsty to drink. Take small sips of water or sports drinks like Powerade before, during, and after the game to keep your body fueled and performing at its best. And with that, we take another break here on High School Pitchside, and we will return right after this.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these 4 boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield. And that's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son play finals on CVM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Come on, my son score, my son score, my son score, my son score.
Greatness begins here.
CVM Sports ISSA SBF Review is brought to you by KFC, Charles, Water, Pringles, True Shake, Powerade.
I think in that first half, Savvy K. Morton had some opportunities. Mona really grew as the first half went on, and Sean Layton, with this shot, it turned out he was giving us a teaser of things to come. Jaheim Rankin, the danger man for Calabar, wasn't at his best, but still delivered that moment of brilliance to set up his teammate Keshawn Palmer. But in the second half, it was practically all Mona. First that shot coming in, and then the high press was enabled. This cross should have been finished. Excellent chance for Skylar McFarlane, but it would come soon after. Excellent finish from Sean Layton. Finish that sumptuous cross that came in from McCarthy. This cross was so good it didn't even need a touch. McFarlane making up for what he did earlier and missing that chance, getting on the score sheet. This free kick, it seemed as if it was destined for the back of the net, but it wasn't. And McCarthy right on hand to tap home. Sean Layton, the danger man, would get his second also, taking advantage of lackluster defending to steal in behind and get his second of the day. Then there was this, the handout stretched from Fabio Campbell, leading to this penalty for Calabar, but Rankin, not his best day at the office. And that really just summed up this one. Calabar continued to almost create chances for Mona. And this was the last big one of the day.
I mean, there's always stuff to take away now, but I mean, overall, obviously we're going to be disappointed. The first game of the season always bring unknowns, but coming into this game, I mean, the performances were good, so to come out this flat is surprising, but it's the first game. I mean, all is not lost, we'll hit the training ground and come back stronger.
Well, it's really great to see that CVM is out sponsoring, and big up to Delroy Hoyle and his team, so I'm really happy to see that you guys are doing that. We did a lot of work in the preseason. We like to share the wealth, we like to share the development, we like to share the coaches. I don't normally like to stand up here without my coaches, and I think that it's important that we continue to develop the talents, the managers and the coaches and the young players coming up. Most of these players that you've seen here, we've had them since they were 6 years old.
CVM Sports ISSA SBF Review is brought to you by KFC, Charles, Water, Pringles, True Shake, Powerade.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside, and it's time for the Powerade Team Talk. This week, we're featuring Hillel Academy, who are dreaming big in their debut Manning Cup season.
Hillel Academy, the school situated in the cool chimes of Cherry Gardens, will be playing in the nation's top schoolboy football competition for the first time in their 52-year history. But despite this being their debut, they'll not be short on talent. And skipper Marley Roberts says they're not merely passengers in this ride, but will be contenders.
Just playing the practice games in training and seeing the team during seeing the other teams during Ali Cup, it's honestly going to be difficult, and I'm half nervous and half ready to compete against all these other players.
Jordan Kennedy is one of the top players Hillel will be looking to get them the goals, and he's already in a confident mood.
Very ecstatic to perform on camera and just showcase my ability, and the team showcases what we can do and what we are supposed to be doing in Manning Cup, because that's why we signed up.
The youngest player in the squad of 25 is 12-year-old Christian Foster, and he knows how to score goals. He won the Golden Boot for the leading scorer in international matches in Florida representing Dare to Dream Football Academy recently. He then returned home to win another Golden Boot accolade in the CASAFA Under-13 football competition, scoring 13 goals.
I think Hillel is ready for the Manning Cup. I know everybody's coming here expecting that we're going to collect digits, but we're going to prove them wrong, and we're going to play to our best of our ability and make a statement. Coming off of leading goal scorer of CASAFA, I'd want to use that experience from that to carry it onto the schoolboy football in Pepsi and the Manning Cup.
The team will not be short on Manning Cup experience, as Matthew Turner, who had a stint with St. George's College, could be the player to capture the spotlight.
Other schools may doubt us, but we come to show with a positive impact and show them that we're not an easy team, and we show to make a good hit on Thursday against Meadowbrook at Calabar, winning with a good clean sheet and about three or more goals.
Another player who has the experience in the competition is Rikelme Campbell, who also had a few seasons with Kingston College.
I feel like the game is going to be very well for us. We've been training extremely hard. I don't think that much teams have trained enough like as us, and I feel like we're going to come out with a clean sheet and get a good goal difference to take our start in the Manning Cup season.
The team is coached by Sean Fraser, and he's confident the players are mentally and physically ready for their opening game.
For us, the expectations to go in to compete, not just to participate. I think we have a good enough team. Very young, I have a lot of Colts players on the team, U16 players that makes up the U19 team, but the players they can play at a high level. For me personally, I think they will compete. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but what I will guarantee that my team will compete in each game.
That, we go to a break as we step into history class with Jordan Fort and a special guest for part 1 of this exclusive interview.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, These 4 boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And KC has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivier Shield. And that's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
When the bus them man, I want to watch my son play finals for CVM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Boy, my son score, my son score, my son score, my son score.
Greatness begins here.
Protecting Jamaica's borders is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
8:45.
All right, so Sean Fraser is a name synonymous with the golden era, some call it, of Jamaica's football. The midfielder was a member of the first Under-17 Reggae Boys squad that made it to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in 1999. In 2001, he also journeyed to the FIFA Youth World Cup, this time at the Under-20 level. He made a name for himself in schoolboy football, representing Camperdown at various levels, but it was his time at Clarendon College where he tasted most success, winning the Dacosta Cup, Ben Francis Cup and Olivier Shield in 1998, the treble, as some people call it. Let's start there, Sean. Thank you so much, by the way, for being with us on high school Pitchside. So that 1998 season, bit of a watershed period for you, as I said, the treble, Clarendon College. Take me through that season.
Actually, it didn't start well for me. My family, my dad at the time was working at Air Jamaica, so we used to travel to go overseas for the summer. So I missed out the entire preparation for the Dacosta Cup. When I came back, Coach Jackie Walters said to me, Sean, you have to work your way back into the team. So I missed about 5 or 6 games before I started playing. I was 15 years old at the time. He entrusted in me based on talent and my work ethic, but at the same time, I was analyzing what was happening during the course of the games and everything like that. I got my opportunity to play against Lennon. I scored a double on my debut. I could say that the rest is history.
Yeah, but rewinding a little bit though, because I want to get a bit of the context of you going to Clarendon College. Okay. Did you go there as a big baller, as Jamaicans would say? Were you a star baller? Take me through that journey, because it's kind of checkered as well, because Woolmer's is a part of that journey, Camperdown is a part of that journey, and then Clarendon College is it. So give me the chronology.
All right, so, going to Vast Prep as a former past student, everybody wanted to go to Woolmer's, KC, George's, or JC. Passed for Woolmer's. My mom was overseas. When she came back, she said, you have to go to Camperdown with your brother. My dad wasn't really into that, but at the end of the day, may her soul rest in peace. I ended up at Camperdown because, mother's rule. So when I went to Camperdown, I played 1 year of Pepsi, scored 16 goals, took my team to the final. We lost to the same Woolmerian team that I would have been on with Keith Kelly and Alex Thomas and so forth. Spent 1 year, about 3 months at Camperdown, left for personal reasons. Went to Clarendon College, Great Lenny retired, came to my family and said that they're selling a project down there, and my dad and my mom bought into it. Went to Clarendon College, won the U14 there, won the U16, and the triple, as you said. But when I left, I was very, very much active playing at Harbourview, playing my under 14 for Coach Ludlow Bernard. Play minor league at 11 years old. So I wouldn't say I was a big baller, but in my mind I was big. But realistically, I don't think I was big baller because I had a lot to learn at the time. But for me personally, I think I was good enough to compete there.
Yeah, I mean, Clarendon College did a lot of recruiting of players from the urban area. We know that now. I mean, a lot of people see the teams and probably think that people are from in and around the area, and then you get to know who the top ballers from Clarendon College are, and you realize most of them are actually, a lot of them are from Kingston, right? You're from Kingston. Was there a transition from urban to rural? I mean, how was that for you? Because as you say, you pass Olmos, then you end up at Camperdown, and then now you're at Clarendon College. Is that different, totally different atmosphere?
Yes, it is. I can say this and without no apology. I think in the rural area, they're more passionate about football than us in Kingston or in town would say. Everything is different there. They document everything. If you're not playing well, they're going to tell you that you're not playing well. It's unlike when we were in Camperdown, parents will come or friends will come and say, good game, man, you know in your heart you don't play well. They are going to make you know that you didn't play well. And they have no time to pat you on your back. You, in your mind, has to grow up fast and grow quickly, because football is a sport that it changes quickly and fast. So when I went there, it was really a reality check. It was difficult for me at first because, you know, I have to be sleeping on the dormitory, something I didn't used to. I was in my mom care, my dad care, majority of my life. And then to move from there to the dormitory, which wasn't the greatest of place for me, but I had to adapt. Met this player by the name of Anthony Bennett, Sausage, who's one of my great friends. He's not one of my best friends at the moment. He helped me through everything that I was going through, good and bad.
And he was from there, or?
He was from Rima.
Okay.
Yeah, he was from West Kingston.
Well, you're proving the point, right?
Yeah, he was from West Kingston. The majority of the players that were there, we had about 14, 15 players from Kingston. At that time, we didn't have a quota rule in ISSA. So Clarendon made use of all of that, the same thing that Jamaica College is doing. So Clarendon made use of that in the past. So we didn't have a quota rule, so we had everybody there, so we cling together, and that's how we achieved success, because we formed this bond in which everybody's fighting for everybody, knowing that we're not from here, we stuck together, and then we made friends with the other players from the rural area, so everything fall into place for us.
That's where you got the nickname Mataran?
No, I actually got that name Mataran because my dad used to smoke Craveny. One day he said to me that go to buy matches at the shop. The shop was like 3 houses up the road from us. I was like 6 years old at the time. He said, my son, go and buy a pack of matches for mommy. She's cooking and the match is finished. You know, back in the days, we don't have to really go into detail, but back in the days it's rough. Never have no lighter or nothing. So she went there and I went to the shop by the lady by the name of Miss Jo. I never forget that. I said to her, can I get a Mataran, please? And she said, Mataran? She said, will you buy Mataran for me? I said, mommy. She said, no man, your mother don't smoke. Your daddy smoke Craveny, you sure? So she was calling my mom and my mom didn't answer. She said, all right, you're going to come back, you know. You're going to come back. And she gave me the Mataran. I went down and gave my dad, and he said, you have to follow instruction. And I get about a couple of well, you know. But eventually I went back up with the Mataran, got the matches and came back, and my friend was there. And from ever since that day, that name stuck with me. And then my build, you know, was very slim and the small head and everything. So the name stuck with me.
The name stuck with you.
Yeah.
And that's growing up where?
Harborview.
In Harborview?
Yeah, in Harborview.
Harborview born and raised. We know you're synonymous with Harborview football, but you're also Harborview born and raised. So Clarendon College, as we've been talking about, we started, is a famous school within the football space. Of course, you've contributed, as we said, to that rich history of success. What makes them such a force to reckon with year after year, you think? I mean, we're talking about now almost 30 years.
For me personally, I think it's the recruiting. They strategically recruit players to fill gaps of players that left. And this is what other schools or teams around the world needs to do, because if a number 9 leaves, they're going to look for another number 9. They're not going to bring in a defender for a number 9 that left. So I think strategically what they do is replacing players, hence the momentum. And they search for players that can handle the ball, because they have a certain style of play, which any coach that goes to the school, that is their philosophy. They like to keep the ball. They like to possess, move the ball from side to side. So that is what they do. So their recruiting is the most important factor in what they do. That's why they have success.
Yeah, and with that issue of recruiting as that factor of recruiting, ISSA has changed the rules a little bit. Do you think that will affect them?
Definitely. It will put a hamper. You could see from last year when even Kaim Dixon and the rest of the players, Malachi Douglas, they left. You know, you see the transition. The team didn't do well last year. because you can only bring 3 persons in. What they need to do, I think, overall is, they probably have one of the good coach there now, which is Devon Anderson, former for Hillel. He's a good coach, I know him personally, so I can speak to that. But what they have to do now is start instilling in the players that they have their philosophy. And they have to start working overtime now in developing the players in not just a positional player, but a player that can play in any position when needed. Because with the ISSA rule now, you can't bring 10 players in anymore.
Crunch your craving with the value menu from KFC. With combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
ISSA Schoolboy Football 2025 Round 1 kicks on Saturday, September 20 from St. Elizabeth Technical High School. The Big Derby takes the spotlight. St. Elizabeth Technical lock horns with longtime rivals Munro College in a St. Elizabeth Derby. CVM TV, CVMTV.com and CVM TV on YouTube bring you the fever pitch atmosphere at 3:30 p.m. Before that, BB Coke takes on Sydney Pagan STEM at 1 p.m. in another St. Elizabeth Derby. See it happen live and exclusive on CVM TV, CVMTV.com and CVM TV on YouTube. That's StETHS versus Munro College at 3:30 p.m. and BB Coke versus Sydney Pagan STEM at 1 p.m.
It's now time for the final segment of the show. Yes, it's time for Fan View. And following Vauxhall's emphatic win over Spanish Town High, fans are starting to believe that this may be the year for Vauxhall, and they may be on the verge for something great. We take to our YouTube feed for what the folks were saying. All right, let's go. Let's kick it off. Firstly, Mikkel Wright says, second round my side. All right, Mikkel, easy now. Joe Miamic. Jason says, Vauxhall representing the East, for sure. Camper down, step on the game up. Next up, Patrice says, yes, my bad side, give them about 14. We almost got to 14, but lad, man, why you want to give the school so much? Have look mercy, man. Next up, SHHH Sims says, half a man you may watch LOL. Right, DJ? A man you them watch 14. No. All right, one more. Legendary Max says blue and green, which is, of course, the school colors for Vauxhall High School. All right, and that is it. So we close this week's show. But don't fret, because we'll be back next week with more fun, more excitement, and much more discussions. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Ronaldo Adams, signing out. Take care of yourself.
High School Pitchside, brought to you by KFC, Catch, Ping Pong, Water, Powerade, Shoe Shake, Pringles.
Hello, students. As we begin this exciting new school year, I want to take a moment to welcome you all back and to remind you how important it is to do your part to keep yourselves and your friends safe this year. School is a place for learning, growing, and having fun with your friends. But remember, it's also a place where you need to stay alert and look out for each other. Here are a few simple tips to help keep you safe. Be aware of your surroundings when traveling. Keep your phones, technological devices, and money out of sight. Walk in groups. Avoid isolated paths and be cautious of strangers. Always inform your parents or guardians of your whereabouts. If you're experiencing bullying or if you see others being bullied, report it to your parents or teachers. If something about a situation doesn't feel right, or if someone makes you uncomfortable, trust your instincts and tell a trusted adult. And remember, if you ever need help, or if you know a friend or classmate who does, you can always call us at the Child Protection and Family Services Agency on our 211 Child Abuse Hotline. We're here for you. Have a fantastic school